Winter, an improvised mystery by Shorty. Let's see where this audio takes us. Veronica. I didn't realise I was crying until the tears tapped like raindrops onto the birth certificate in my hands. Tap, tap. I let them flow. I indulged, and I mourned the father I never knew. I cried quiet tears as the pain in my chest and throat tightened, with a longing for that man that made me, and my brother, that man I was truly a part of. A creak down the hall made me suck in a breath and stop. I gathered myself, put the certificate back in the envelope, and shoved it back under the mattress. Not wanting to face whoever was in the hall, I tiptoed to the door that led to the attic, that was adjacent to Father's room, that would lead me back to Mother's room. As I got to the top step, I heard the door of Father's room creak open, and I stopped and listened. Whoever it was had stopped to listen too, as I could hear nothing but my own breath, which I held. After a while, I heard footsteps retreating back down the hall, and I continued my way across the attic that was lit by a circle of moonlight coming from the round window. I suddenly felt scared. My eyes flitted over shapes covered in sheets. I could almost imagine them moving. I quickened my pace and made it to the door to Mother's room, hurriedly closing it behind me and sneaking down the steps. And without getting undressed, I slipped under the covers of Mother's huge bed, hugging a pillow close to my chest. 1,000 things going through my mind. So Mother and Theodore, Father, were together. Were they in love? Is that why my father Tobias killed his brother? Was he jealous? Dear Mother, no. No, she couldn't have. If she loved my father, my real father, she would never have married his brother. Different scenarios whirled around my head. I knew one thing. I needed to discover everything. It's obvious my real father and mother weren't married because of the birth certificate. My mother's maiden name. But did they plan to marry? Were they in love? The library. I'd go to the town library and look at the archives. My family is prominent in this area, and there's bound to be news. And I guess my father, Tobias, did have a lot to gain. The control of the company, for one thing. And Julius, did he know all this time? He's known for a long time. Why didn't he share this with me? To protect me? No. I don't think so. Sleep took a long time to come. But it did. Eventually. My night was filled with dreams and worries and nightmares and images of murder. Of the sea, the waves, my mother, the grief and the despair. Surprisingly, I woke early. I felt a wreck. Knew I couldn't go back to sleep. I didn't want to face the others at breakfast either. I wanted to be... Where did I want to be? And then I knew it. I tiptoed to my room, put on a bathing suit and a robe, and headed downstairs, as quietly as I could. I didn't want to see anyone. I just wanted to get out of here. down the steps, across the lawn, to the gate, out onto the cliff edge. I felt free. The wind whipped at my hair. The sun just rising, making the water sparkle. The tide was out, but not too far. Gingerly, I picked my way down the slippery steps, down to the shore, which was littered with stones and rocks and large boulders, usually submerged by the sea. I dropped my towel and robe and waded in, just enjoying the cool water on my feet. The morning was already warm, and I fixed my eyes on the sunrise. If only I could reach that sunrise. Were you there, Mother? Waiting for me? I plunged quickly into the water. It was cold, but there were warm currents on the surface. Deeper down it was freezing. I swam. Slow strokes. The sea was calm and was heading out further. I was careful not to swim too far. I didn't want to be dragged out with the current. But I was a good swimmer, unlike Mother. I enjoyed the sounds, the gulls overhead, the water gently washing against the shore in a wonderful rhythm. I dipped my head under, not caring what the salt water did to my hair. Big swathes of seaweed floated on the surface, which I avoided for the most part. I don't know how long I was there, treading water, watching the sun, moving my hands back and forth in the cool liquid, trying not to dwell on Mother and him. I wondered, did he lure her out here? Maybe she was going to leave him. Maybe he thought, if I can't have her, nobody can. Would he be that cruel? I guess he could. He wouldn't care about his children because we are not his children. We're not. I must have been out there a long time because the tide started to turn, and I felt it dragging me back to the shore. I went with it, helping myself along with a few strokes. I looked up at the cliff, instinctively, and saw somebody standing there. I couldn't quite make them out. I was too far away. But I knew they were watching me. I felt a chill run through my body, and it wasn't just the cold water. I swam slowly, hoping they'd leave. Eventually, my feet found purchase on the rocky shore, and I waded in. But when I looked up, the person, whoever they were, had gone. I snatched up my robe and wrapped it around myself, and toweled my hair and face. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to return to that house. So I sat on a rock and just watched the sea come in. I knew I couldn't stay there for long. The tide was coming in. But I waited till the waves lapped at my feet. As the sound of the waves rushing in and out, dragging pebbles and sand back with it, came too close, and reluctantly I made my way back up the steps, back to reality. Well, my darlings, I hope you like that little improvised audio. If you do, give it a cheeky thumbs up. But if you're hankering for something really spicy, join my Patreon. Talking of Patreon, here they are, my wonderful darlings, who I couldn't do this without. Shenanigans, Billy, Oz, Living Lightning, Turt Boy, Pokemon UB, David, Adam Strikers, Nikki Phantom, Pillowy Slave, Mordred, Stephen, Fire, Outsider HP, Ted, Jelly Mage, Aaron, Cryptid, Cubby, DZ, Blake, and Samir Hall. Thanks, guys and gals. I love you.